Don't be dark, man. We'll just stay right here.
Just when you thought it was over, the Most High said, nope. So guess what? We came out here for a purpose. Whatever that purpose may be, that's what we want to teach and we want to share. We want to be obedient to the Most High and teach His Word and share His Word. Guess what? But it starts with being obedient to His commandments. So we come out to teach that we are the Jews that the Bible speaks of. That we are the so-called, who they call, you heard that sign up right there? Who they so-called blacks, Indians, Haitians, Puerto Ricans. We are the 12 tribes of Israel. But today they teach us that the Jews over in Israel, that they are the Jews. Now we can prove everything we say. Go back to that 1 Thessalonians 5 and verse 12 or 21. I think it's 5:21. Because this is what the Bible tells us to do. Watch this. This is what the Bible said. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 verse 21. Prove all things. Prove all things. Hold fast that which is good. So the Bible tells us to prove all things, right? Make sure that we're telling the truth. Make sure that our praises. Make sure that we ain't coming out of our own mouth. We're not just making up something. So we're going to prove it. Give me Jeremiah 14 verse 2. Jeremiah 14 verse 2. Because out of anything else we should... No, give me Matthew 4 and 4. Matthew 4 and 4. Instead of taking our words, we read the Bible. Let's see what the Bible says. Let's read the Bible. Watch this. Matthew chapter 4 verse 4. But he answered and said, it is not written, man shall not live by bread alone. But he answered and said, it is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God. That's what we believe. We believe that we should do everything according to the word of the Father, right? Now, how do you do that? Give me John 14:15, unless you had a precept. How do you prove that you prove in all things? How do you know that you're doing what the Father say do? This is so simple. This is simple. This is what he said. Watch this. John chapter 14, verse 15. If you love me, keep my commandments. If you love me, keep my commandments. So the Father says if we love him, keep his commandments. So it's over and over telling us the same thing. But now you have to ask yourself the question. Go ahead.
What would be our nationality?
What would be our nationality? Okay, French, Italian, Nigeria. Okay, what about you, bro? Are you really not sure? Okay, so what would be your father? Yeah, your earthly father. French and Italian. What about you? Don't know what would be your earthly father? You don't have a clue about him? Oh, he was adopted. Okay. So we gonna show you a little confusion why I asked that. For example, if you was to ask my nationality, right? I would say black African American, right? So as you notice, she didn't name a crayon color or two places. We named a crayon color and two continents. So how could we be crayon color and Africa and America? That's a great question, right? So who named us African American? That would be the great question, right? So when our forefathers got brought over here, they put these titles on us, nigger, Afro-American, African-American, what's one name that you probably call it? Haitian Jamaican, right? All these things. So we come back in these last days and coming to find out that God never called us these names on the left side, but he called us these names, like from the tribe of Judah, tribe of Benjamin. So the question should be, how can we prove that we are those people, correct? Because you got to ask yourself this. When we came over on ships, what were we speaking? Because, they beat English in us. The Haitians speak French. The Mexican people speak Spanish. All them languages got beat into all them people on the 12 tribes of this time. So what were we speaking before we came off the ship? Anybody have an idea? Well, Christopher Columbus, he brought Hebrew translators on the ship with him because he knew that we were speaking Hebrew. Even in Mexico, they got Hebrew, Egyptian stones written in Hebrew. In America, you can find Hebrew stones written in Hebrew, right? So now we come to the realization that we are the 12 tribes of God, 12 tribes of Israel. So the question should be, how can we prove that, right? Let me get Deuteronomy. As a matter of fact, we teaching to get, like, for example, you go to church, you'll never hear this stuff, right? Like, that's not even a subject in church. The subject in church is God love everybody, pay your tithes, and we all good. But what if we told you that God said he loved these people on the side more than everybody on the earth? That sounds kind of crazy though, right? But the question is, we're not treated equal in America, so it wouldn't sound crazy then, right? Well, they tell us that we all equal, but we can see that we're not treated equal, right? So let me get Deuteronomy 7, verse 6 first.
Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 6. But thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God has chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
So as you can see, Moses telling the 12 tribes that, hey, God chose y'all to be a holy people, special above everybody on the face of the earth. So now my question would be, who the best people who play basketball? Like, why does, like, for example, the owner of NBA, he go to the worst hoods and get the best player? Or you can think about baseball. They go to the worst lands, third world countries, and get Hispanics and Mexicans to play baseball. Because God said we are holy people. He chose us to be special more than everybody on the face of the earth. That's why we can rap good, dance good, cook good, run fast, right? So would y'all kind of agree that they kind of sound right? That's why. So let's go to Deuteronomy 28, verse 15. Like, because now we need to see if God chose us to be this special people, why we treated like this in America? Why we living like this in America? Right? 28, verse 15.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass,
Which means this gonna happen.
if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe, to do all of his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
Well, now Moses telling you, hey, all these commandments that I'm going to give you, God's people, if y'all don't keep them, y'all going to be cursed. So ain't we living like a cursed people? We filling up the projects, right? Gunning down each other, right? Alright, so let's get Deuteronomy 28 verse. We're going to read the curses in the Bible that's been here the whole time.
Let me get 28 and
16? 16 verse. Verse 16. Cursed shall thou be in the city, and cursed shall thou be in the field.
Now Moses telling the children of Israel that, hey, you're going to be cursed in the cities and the field. So what nation of people are cursed in every city y'all have been to? As a minority, like a majority of them. Like, who fill up the projects? Have y'all ever went to a project full of Chinese people, white people, East Indian people, what else? African people, Arab people? Nobody, right? It's only black, Mexicans, and Indians filling up the projects, correct? Alright, so he said, cursed shall thou be in the city,
and cursed shall thou be in the field.
Now what nation of people were cursed in the field? The sugarcane field, cotton field, rice field, tobacco field, even the work field today. First 5 last high. Would it be those same people who cursed in every city you can think of? Now, I ain't gonna hold y'all. This is like medicine. You know, medicine go down as nasty, but it gonna help you, right? So, this stuff it might sound kind of horrible to y'all, but we only reading the words of God. You know what I'm saying? So, we not coming out our own belly. This ain't hate speech. We only reading thus saith the Lord. Go ahead.
Second Corinthians chapter 11 and verse number 6. But though I be rude in speech, yet not in knowledge, but we have been thoroughly made manifest among you in all things.
So now he said, even though I might sound rude in speech, but not in knowledge. Because these things could sound rude, you know what I'm saying? Like, it could sound kind of bad, but we only speaking the truth. Like, it's knowledge. So, we're going to go back to Deuteronomy chapter 28. So the first curse in the Bible on God's chosen people, he said they would be cursed in the city and the field. So let me get verse 19.
Verse 19, Deuteronomy. Cursed shalt thou be when thou comest in, and cursed shalt thou be when thou goest out.
So now Moses said, hey, you're going to be cursed when you're born? Now what nation of people would you say cursed when they're born? Same people, correct? And like you said, your earthly father, he adopted you, right? But as a majority, whose story do they fit? Like, as a majority, like for example, you can say, hey, I was cursed when I was born because, you know, my father adopted me. But as for a lot of black, Mexicans, and Indians, that happened to them on a way higher scale than, right? So he said, cursed shall you be when you're born. But think about it, you can be the beautiful chocolate baby in the world, but the doctor looks like, man, I feel bad for that baby. He gonna end up in the project. He ain't gonna have no dad or father figure. He a crap baby at that, right? But he said, cursed shall you be when you come in and when you go out, which means you're gonna be cursed when you die. So who died cursed as a people? Because if you think about it, if I was to tell this brother right here, hey man, Lil J died, first time he gonna ask me, how he died? Because we died so many bad ways. Did he wreck? Did he get stabbed? Did he get shot? Did he die of AIDS? But if I was to tell him, hey man, you remember Mr. Johnson we used to work for? He died. He first thing he gonna think is, oh, he died in the sleep. Probably had a heart attack, overeat, right? So let me get verse 26.
Verse 26. And thy carcass shall be meat unto all fowls of the air, and unto the beasts of the earth, and no man shall fray them away.
So when we were running through the shade, running through the wood, they were hanging us up, letting the birds pick up our body, right? And then God said it was going to be no beast to fray us away, fray them off of us. So let's get verse 30.
Thou shalt betroth a wife, or entice a wife, and another man shall lie with her. And thou shalt build an house, and thou shalt not dwell therein. Thou shalt plant a vineyard, and thou shalt not gather the grapes thereof.
So now Moses telling the children of Israel that you're going to have a wife, but in the future when y'all don't keep these commands, another man going to lay with them. So when did that happen? And why would he say that, right? If you think about it, enslave the master come get our wife, and then we can do about it. But he said we would build, but we wouldn't dwell in these places. So we built everything you see, but we ain't staying in the White House, in these big skyscrapers, right? But he also said we would plant a vineyard, but we wouldn't gather the grapes for it. We planted the cornfield, but we don't own cotton. Alright, so verse 32.
Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fill with longing for them all the day long, and there shall be no might in thy hand.
Who did that happen to? Sons and daughters were given it to another people, and they had no power to do nothing about it. Same people, right? They cursed in the city, cursed in the field, all the same people, right? So what we are reading, we're reading a list of curses from 16 to 68. And somehow we all coming up with the same thing, that they only from the same nation of people. Alright, so verse 37.
Thou shalt become an astonishment.
Astonishment. Like, wow. So don't the other nations look at us like, wow, look
Look how they wear their pants down to her ankle. Look how she walk out naked. Look how they burn it down each other. Look how the 80-year-old wino stand at the stove, winter, spring, summer, and fall. Like, wow. Astonishment and what else?
And a proverb.
A proverb is a famous saying. Black people love chicken. Black people love watermelon. Want to hire something from a nigga, put it in the book. A famous saying.
And a byword.
Now, a byword is something God never called us. We the only people calling ourselves Creole culture, Black African American. Like, you know what I'm saying? So they keep going.
And among all these nations, and among all nations, whither the Lord shall lead thee.
So the Lord said, out of all the nations of the people, because in the Bible, God created 18 nations of people. He only led 12. So he said, when you don't keep my commandments, I'm going to put you under all the other 6 nations. Wherever I lead you at, you're going to be a proverb, a byword, and a astonishment. Alright? So now we ain't even going to read all the curses, but we going to make y'all get the point. Verse 41.
Verse 41. Thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity.
So Moses said, hey, y'all still going to be fruitful and multiply, but y'all ain't going to enjoy y'all kids. Because they going into slavery too. Alright, so verse 43.
The stranger that is within thee shall get above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low.
Now, strangers are non-Israelite. Arab man, white man, Chinese man, East Indian man, or true African Hamite man. God said these strangers were going to get up above his people so high, but we were going to come down very low. So think about all the people who prosper around the world. For example, Chinese people can come to the hood, open up a restaurant, the weed stores, right? The Arab man with the gas station, the donut shop, white man with the banks, the schools, the hospitals, right? And even the African people who look just like us will come over here and get a loan and open up something. But the world knows that we're not the same. That's why we get treated this way. Alright, so verse 45. Matter of fact, this is going to show you how we know that we are the children of God. Verse 45.
Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded thee.
Alright, so now we're reading curses. Verse 46. Let's see what these curses for.
And they shall be upon thee for a sign, and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever.
So how we know this count plus or testicle? We see the sign, right? So God said, how you gonna know my people? These curses that we read gonna be upon them and on their kids forever. So now these curses that we read, they only on a certain amount of people. Let's get verse 47.
Because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness and with gladness of heart, for the abundance of all things. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemy.
So the Lord said, you don't want to serve me and be happy. Of all things, you're going to serve your enemy. So now we're going to see if what we're saying go with what the Lord is saying. So we're going to serve our enemies.
Therefore you shall serve your enemies, thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee.
So all the other nations, they didn't take it upon themselves to, oh, I'm going to come get these type of people. The Lord put a spirit in them to do that.
Which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness.
So now he said, I'm going to send these enemies against you in thirst, hunger, and nakedness. So when we hungry, who we get our food from? Are they not the same people who had us in slavery? Well, think about it. If I own my own restaurant, I still got to pay taxes to the same people, right? Because if I don't, they're going to take it. So he said, in hunger and in thirst. All right, so if I'm thirsty, that water right there, do we own anything like that? Do we own the water company, Budweiser, Gatorade, right?
And in nakedness.
These shirts, we got them made, but we don't own. We don't own the content. That's why I say made in USA, made in China, right?
And in want of all things.
Something.
All things.
So now, can you name us anything that we won't have to go to them same people to get? Like, for example, I want an education, new job, new car, new house, health insurance, death certificate, marriage certificate. Could I go to anybody else gotta go to my own people to get those things. So God said we have to go to our enemies for it. But he said in one of all things. Let's see who he is.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee.
So now, we in church we were taught that the enemy is a person on the ground. But God said he, which is a man, shall put a yoke of iron upon your neck until you be destroyed. So if you look on Google and just type in yokes of iron, what kind of images y'all think to pull up? Thing, but you think images of people pop up? To make it a better quick question, who had yokes of iron upon their neck in history? Because even in the Trail of Tears, even when we was in slavery, we the one had yokes of iron upon our neck. But God said this, he shall put a yoke of iron upon your neck until you be destroyed. Which means they were going to be on your neck forever. He was going to take them off once he destroyed you. So for example, back around Christmas time, they used to hang us from the trees. They used to give us to their neighbors for presents, right? But now we're so destroyed as a people, we celebrate with no problem. We destroyed as a people. All right, verse 39.
Verse 49. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from one end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth. A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand.
When Christopher Columbus came over in America, he came over as swift from one end of the earth unto the other, a nation whose tongue we don't understand. So that's what we were talking about, how we get English, Spanish, and all these words. All right, verse 50.
Verse 50. Okay, a nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, or show favor to the young.
So it's meaning, that's why our ancestors, well, especially my grandma, she would tell me about the time she was on the field from the little girl. Because it said this nation, it wasn't going to care if they was young or old. All right, so verse 54, because y'all could be like, man, y'all keep saying enemies and other nations, but y'all run each other down every day, right? Let's see where they come from. Verse 54.
So that the man is tender among you and very delicate with his eye shall be evil toward his brother.
So now, Moses saying, see how y'all love my brothers, y'all children of Israel, y'all in unity together, but if y'all don't keep God's commandments in the future, y'all gonna have an evil eye towards your brother. So we got a famous saying around the world, stop the black on black crime. And the Mexicans either, who banging in LA, banging against each other. All right, but not only towards your brother, but who else?
Even the wife of his bosom.
So who known for having baby mamas and baby daddies? That's right. And keep going. And who else?
And the remnant of his children which he shall leave.
Not only that, you gonna have an evil eye towards your children, but you gonna end up leaving. You known for not having father figures in the home. Same people, right? Okay. So we back to the end. So verse 64.
Verse 64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from one end of the earth, even unto the other. And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither you nor thy fathers, like Abraham, have known, even wood and stone.
So now God said, I'm going to scatter you across the four corners of the earth, and you're going to serve other gods, even wood and stone. So as a child, I used to think about, man, this same cross that they used to have in our ancestral yard burning up, it's the same cross in church today. Right? And don't some seem fishy about that? So he said even wood and stone. Now verse 65. Jeremiah chapter 2 verse 27. Saying to a stop, thou art my father, and to a stone, thou hast brought me forth. For they have turned their back unto me, and not their face. But in this time of trouble will I say, arise and save us. But where are thy gods that thou hast made thee? Let them arise, if they can save thee in the time of the trouble, for according to the number of the cities are gods, O Judah.
Say unto a rock or unto a stone, that's talking about the Muslim movement. That came 600 years after the death of Christ. So when the Muslims, what do? They go to Mecca every year and make Hajj, and they do some what? Some rock. And not only that, but like you said with the Christian church, they have what? Cross, which is stock and wood. So it's all good.
Go ahead, King. Personally, okay, so look, just hold tight. We about to the end, King. Just hold tight. How long you say? We probably got about 10 more minutes left. Alright, so whenever y'all say y'all, we'll jump to him. But okay, so we're gonna read the young curse in the Bible. How did black people get to America? And how did the Mexican people end up all the way in Mexico? Like, how did we get over here?
We'll finish last verse.
Okay, I get what you're saying, but we're not talking about indigenous. Because, for example, when our ancestors invented slaves,